Chapter 54. The Return of the 12 Apostles. All direct their eyes towards the east now, where, as with the rising sun, it is getting ever brighter. Only for the inner vision, of course, although the eye of the flesh also is affected. Finally, after some time of steady brightening in the east, shapes brighter than the sun appear, in perfect human form, floating towards us through the air. The light of these three angels, who on account of their steadfastness, firmness, and light, are referred to by the general term cherubim. The world of spirits nearly was eclipsed, and the spirits seemed like alpine mists hovering about the mountain peaks. When the three cherubim had come into our midst, they dimmed their light and fell upon their faces before me, saying, Lord, who in the eternally endless heavens is worthy of seeing your most holy countenance? To you alone all honour in eternity and infinity. But I said to them, Veil yourselves and hasten down to a place where my 12 messengers are waiting. They have fulfilled my will, and it is enough. Therefore fetch them and bring them here. That instant the three angels veiled themselves, departing quickly and bringing, in a few moments, the dispatched 12 to me on the mountain top. The 12, except for Judas, were filled with joy for having been brought to me from a great distance in this miraculous fashion. Only Judas said, Forever do I say thanks for such journey. It took only a few moments, but I was scared, and the draught. The angels had, however, allowed only Judas to feel this, while the other 11 felt none of all this. This happening, however, made the rounds among the people verbally for a long time afterwards, namely, that the 12 disciples were brought to me on the mountain from a great distance by the angels. Upon the mountain, nevertheless, many began to fear, saying, By heaven, the goings-on here are too miraculous, almost too hard to bear. While the others said, This only Jehovah himself can effect. But the 12 had much to tell about their experiences in the short time. I, however, commanded the angels to procure bread and wine in proper quantities, as the 12 were very hungry and thirsty, as they had not received to eat or drink for a whole day. And the angels at once did as I commanded them, bringing bread and wine in the right quantity. The 12 then took bread and wine and ate and drank what they needed and were fortified. The 5 daughters, however, wanted to sample such bread and wine, and asked me for it. But Jonah chided them for being voracious, saying, To be voracious also is a sin. Therefore self-denial in all things is essential, otherwise man cannot achieve virtue, without which there can be no life. But I said, Friend, let this sin be forgiven your daughters forevermore. For sins which are basically no sins are easy to forgive. Your daughters are in all seriousness hungry and thirsty, and bread and wine there is plenty for everyone here. And therefore let all enjoy it in accordance with need, once the most needy 12 have been fortified. That put Jonah and his 5 daughters at ease, whereupon I asked the 12 disciples to hastily hand out bread and wine, and they did so at once. All in all, there were this time about 800 persons upon the mount, which had a spacious top, with a flat rock of about 10 yards height jutting out of it, which also was easy to climb from the south. All ate and drank and were filled, lauding and praising me for their being fortified so miraculously. And Kisjonah spoke down from the aforementioned rock, which he scaled to that end. Lend an ear, friends and brethren. We are conversant with Scripture, starting with Moses right up to our time, as also with the books of the wars of Jehovah, which are mentioned by Moses and many other prophets, which we obtained from Persia, reading the translations, since they were endorsed by many wise men. But of all the miracles described therein, there is not one comparable to that now taking place before our eyes. Such is unheard of not only in Israel, but the entire world. Who is it, therefore, that must be he who accomplishes such deeds, which none besides God can accomplish for sure?